We are tracking a really significant story developing right now on the front lines in Ukraine. We're talking about a major overnight offensive that looks like a serious escalation in the air war.
Okay, let's get right into it. What we're looking at is the stark reality of what happened over Ukraine just last night. Reports are pouring in from international outlets describing a massive, coordinated air attack by Russian forces, and it looks like one of the largest this winter.
So, the big question is, what exactly went down? How big was this attack really? What were they aiming for? And, what does this tell us about where the conflict is headed? That's what we're going to unpack. Let's start with just the sheer scale of this thing. The Ukrainian Air Force has confirmed this was not some small-scale strike. No, this was a full-spectrum aerial assault, using a pretty diverse and powerful mix of weapons. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. It's the combination of weapons they used. We're talking hundreds of drones, which are often used to just overwhelm and confuse air defenses. But they were fired alongside advanced ballistic missiles, like the Iskander, and those incredibly hard-to-stop hypersonic Kinzhal missiles. This isn't just throwing punches. It suggests a complex, multi-layered attack strategy. So let's zoom in a bit on this arsenal, because understanding what each of these weapons can do, well, that's absolutely key to getting your head around the challenge Ukraine's air defenses were up against. And this chart really lays out the tactical problem, doesn't it? You've got these unmanned drones coming in huge numbers, basically to saturate the sky. Then, at the same time, you have Iskander ballistic missiles dropping in from a high arc. And to top it all off, you've got the Kinzhal hypersonics, which are moving at unbelievable speeds and can change course, making them almost impossible to intercept with conventional defenses. It's a simultaneous threat coming from multiple angles. Okay, so we've talked about what was fired, but the where is just as crucial. This wasn't a random bombardment at all. The targets seem to have been chosen for maximum strategic impact. The main targets, according to reports, were key pieces of Ukraine's national infrastructure. Specifically, the strikes were aimed at the country's rail networks and its energy facilities. I mean, these are the very systems that keep the country up and running and the military supplied. So that brings us to the next obvious question, right? Why go after rail and power so hard? And why launch an attack of this size right now, in the middle of winter? The strategic goal here seems brutally clear: to cripple Ukraine's logistics. If you hit the rail networks, you disrupt the flow of troops and gear. If you hit the energy facilities, you're going after heating, power, and industry when it's coldest and darkest. But there's another layer here. It's also a potential war of attrition. You force Ukraine to use up its limited, expensive air defense missiles protecting these sites. Now, let's flip the coin and look at the other side of this. An attack this huge doesn't just go unanswered. So how did Ukraine's air defense units handle this intense barrage? Based on the reports we're seeing, Ukrainian air defense crews were incredibly busy all night, and they apparently managed to intercept a significant number of the incoming drones and missiles. It's really a testament to the layered defense systems they've managed to put together. But, and this is a really important but, with an attack of this magnitude, it's almost impossible to stop everything. The full picture is still coming into focus as damage assessments are being carried out across the country to figure out the real impact of the strikes that did manage to get through. So, let's pull back from the minute-by-minute details for a second and think about what this all means for the wider conflict. What's the big picture here? The key takeaway has to be this. This was not just another night of missile strikes. The scale, the coordination, the mix of advanced weapons, it all points to a major escalation in the air war. It signals a new and much more intense phase of Russia's winter campaign. And that leaves all of us with a final and pretty critical question. As both sides keep adapting their strategies and their tech, what does this new, more intense phase of aerial warfare really mean for the direction of the conflict this year? That's the question that military analysts and world leaders are scrambling to answer right now.